Okay, guys. Now we have defined all the material properties, section properties. We have made the whole building. Now what we are going to do next is we have to go for the cladding. So for that, go to define, go to define, and here you can. Hmm. Yeah, so in order to draw the wall cladding, we will go for draw, auto draw cladding, use floors. Okay. So you can see how the cladding has been assigned to the building. So we are going to use the cladding so as to apply the wind forces. So we will be assigning the external pressure coefficients to these shells which have been formed as a part of the wall cladding. Okay, now we are going to define the various loads. So, for this tall building that we have taken up in this tutorial, we are going to assign the dead load, the live load, and the wind load. So, IS 875 Part 1 and Part 2 give all the specifications for the dead load and live load respectively. So, we will go for define, and here we can see the load pattern. So, the dead load and the live load are already there. If you do not wish to include the dead load for your analysis, you can go for the self weight multiplier 0. If you put self weight multiplier 0, the dead load will not be taken in the analysis. Now, uh, the dead load and live load are already defined. Go for OK. Again, ensure that all stories are selected and select the shells. And go for assign shell loads uniform. So the load pattern name dead is there. Under uniform load, go for 2 kilonewton per meter square. We are going to go for a floor dead load of 2 kilonewton per meter square, which includes the dead load due to the floor finishing. And we will go for replace existing loads. Apply. Okay. So now you can see in the plan the they have shown the load 2 applied on all over the shelf. Now we are going to define a live load. So we will go for assign, go to shell loads and go for uniform load. Now first we have to select all the shells. Once all the shells are selected, go for the shell loads uniform, and put a load pattern name is live. Go for 5. It is in the direction of gravity, and go for replace existing load. Apply. Okay. Now we will check how the assignment of loads has been done to the shell. Go go to the shell and right click on the shell. Right clicking on the shell will open a box which will give you all the information. Go to loads. Here you can see dead load of 2 kilonewton per meter square, which accounts for the floor finishing, and the live load of 5 kilonewton per meter square. So often in big commercial buildings, we usually take a plan, and the live load is not uniform, but it depends upon the kind of occupancy of the room, and we have to select each shell, and then we have to assign the live load, which depends upon the type of occupancy in that room. So here for simplicity, we have assigned a uniform live load of 5 kilonewton per meter square over the whole floor area. We will go for OK. Now we will go for the cladding load. Uh, for that, ensure that the all stories option is selected. Select the peripheral beam. The peripheral beams going to carry the cladding load. Once we have selected all the peripheral beams, we will go to shell, assign shell the frame loads, and go for distributed. So go for a uniform load of 0.2, apply, and OK. So you can see a 0.2 kilonewton per meter applied over all the peripheral beams. So now we have finished applying the dead load and live load, and also the cladding load. Okay, now we have to, the cladding load will not be present in the topmost floor. So we will select the topmost floor. Okay. So here in this, you can see the plan view story 23. Go to 3D view, and instead of all stories, select one story. Then uh, select the peripheral beams. Now in the 3D view, we can see that only the peripheral beams of the topmost floor is getting selected, because in the option we had gone for one story instead of all stories. Ensure that when you are making the changes, you select one story instead of all stories. Then go to assign frame loads, distributed load, and replace